A lot of you business owners are out there, and we play this game and we gauge our success based on the profits of the year, and that's how we have to gauge our success in the business. If
Right.
you are all about money and you seek after that, and that's you're going after that 100%, be careful not to let other things falter in your life. Well, we call this the 4 F's as we teach our technicians and our people what's important in life: family, faith, fitness, and finances. And if you go all in on one and fail on the others, your life is a wreck and you're a failure,
Yep.
right? If you let your family go, and that's a mess. If you're not prioritizing your faith, your fitness, your health goes. Who cares how much money you have? Nobody on their bed says, "Bring me all my money." You say, "Bring me all of my friends, all of the people I
Yep.
love." And so,
Yep.
as you seek for success, as you should, don't let those other things falter. And one last thing: when you
Mm.
have success at the end of the rainbow, when you have all the money and you're making everything you could ever hope or dream for, you will find that that still can lead to emptiness if you're not giving back.
What's up, everybody? This episode is sponsored by ExitWise. If you're a business owner thinking about selling your company, whether that's now or years down the road, you need to know what your business is actually worth and how to maximize that exit. That's exactly what ExitWise does. They help you prepare, position, and ultimately sell your business by assembling a world-class team of M&A experts around you, guiding you from valuation all the way through closing. If you want to know what your business is really worth and how to increase that number before you sell, go check out exitwise.com and get ahead of it. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Builder's Bible and the Big Hitters Podcast. Andrew, I'm going to feature you on both because, man, you're balling over there. So he is the owner founder of Intelligent Design Home Services in Tucson. He's also the host of the Sales Wars podcast, which I'm excited to hear more about as well. Andrew, I see your posts all the time on social media, man, and you're up to some amazing things. Tell us about your businesses and the various things that you have your hands in.
Yeah. So here in Tucson, Arizona, we the intelligent design, we have 5 trades, which I know is super unusual. Normally you hear like AC, plumbing, electric going together. We also have solar and roofing. So set to do about 33 million this year. We've got 90 plus employees, and we're growing super fast right now.
That's awesome, man. Well, okay.
Yeah.
So 5 different trades. Yeah, that strikes me. Most guys are just trying to do really well at like HVAC and plumbing. Like
Sure.
you have 5. So what was that decision to kind of get into those 5 different areas?
Yeah. It was not a, hey, let's get into 5 all at once. It was one piece at a time. I started out in air conditioning 23 years ago and got in on the sales side, did really well, worked for other people for 5 years, and then started my own business in 2009. And after a while, I was seeing these big spikes and drops in the seasonality, and heard that plumbing spikes in our market in the wintertime. I was like, hey, maybe I could get the AC guys to do plumbing and I could level out the expenses on overhead with the big drops. And I was putting tons of money in the bank in the summer and then losing most of it in the winter. So I added plumbing, and none of that worked out like I thought. The AC guys don't want to dig around in poop, so that was a big failure. And then I needed to really go in and fail my way forward on starting plumbing. So that was the second trade we started. We were doing a solar powered air conditioner, and the local government said you need a electrical or a solar license, even though it had nothing to do with that. So that's what added the electrical license. And then I was like, shoot, if we're doing that, we might as well do photovoltaic and electrical. And then we're doing so many, solar jobs, getting some of them canceled because of crappy roofs. Customers ask us, well, who do you recommend? And I could not recommend anyone. We had such a bad reputation in town for roofing. And so I'm like, if I'm going to get it done right and not get these solar jobs canceled, kind of got to do roofing. And so that's how it all transpired over many years, right? From 2009 till now.
This episode is brought to you by Pierre Tax and Accounting, led by CPA Eric Pierre, a seasoned accounting and tax expert with years of experience helping individuals and businesses navigate complex financial landscapes. Whether you need personal tax planning, business tax strategy, bookkeeping, or financial planning support, Eric and his team are committed to helping you protect and grow your financial future with clarity and confidence. To get expert guidance you can trust, check out Pierre Tax and Accounting at pierreaccounting.com. This episode is brought to you by my friend Silas Lagoy over at ForgeMark Wealth. If you're a high-income business owner or professional and feel like you're getting crushed by taxes, you're not alone. And more importantly, you're not stuck. ForgeMark Wealth specializes in advanced legal tax strategies and wealth planning designed to help you keep more of what you make, grow it efficiently, and actually build long-term freedom, not just income. If you're making serious money but don't have a real strategy behind it yet, I highly recommend connecting with Silas and his team. What is is HVAC still the locomotive that kind of pulls the train, or has one taken over? Are they all kind of equal?
Yeah, HVAC is more than 50% of the business. Plumbing is right behind that. And then roofing has overtaken electrical and solar. Solar is kind of died with the tax credits being gone, and we don't recommend the leases to people. I just don't feel like it's a good deal. And so solar and electrical is my smallest department. So in order, AC, then plumbing, then roofing, and then electrical. I got two guys, man. It's not, I'm trying to get a good leader in that department and grow it, but it's, they're just really helping the other departments out.
And then you have the Sales Wars podcast. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, something I'm super excited about. I have been in air conditioning sales is where I started. I carved out just some really unique ways to go about it. I know a lot of guys in the industry, they thrive on the tech flip, which you should. That should be a 80-90% close ratio. That's not how I got my start. I got my start where people are going out, they're getting 3, 4, 5 estimates. And the company that I started working for was more than twice the price of some of the low guys in town. And I had to learn how to get in there and systematically destroy the competition without directly bad mouthing, with while outdoing and outperforming the competition, and earn their business. So I created this system that works extremely well on HVAC systems, and then got so good with that I'm like, man, I really need to share the wealth of my knowledge in sales. I've been a student of that. And a lot of guys have that natural talent. They're a people person. I'm more of that CEO engineer type. And so I've engineered a system to just do really well every single time. And then if you've got the personality on top of that, you just do really well. So I've started to get in people that also have done well in sales. Just had the Macklin twins from the Elliott Group on. That was awesome. Andy Habaika is a $12 million sales guy. I've had Gene Slade on, David Hurst, a lot of guys that are out there on social media promoting their own systems and sales. So we're going to be doing some really cool stuff. I want to set up a competition between guests that are on, where they're trying to answer questions and then have voting, and get to see, like, the audience gets to see the competition and then them commenting on each other's way of going about the process. So I'm excited about that.
I love that. Yeah. And I mean, sales is everything, man. That's so fat. And I was like, Andy Habaika, how come I know that? Oh, you told me about him, and he's going to come on my show. So I'm excited to have him on as a guest. This episode is brought to you by 10X Nerds. If you're a business owner doing real revenue, there's a good chance you're overpaying in areas you haven't even looked at. Things like credit card processing, insurance, telecom, and more. 10X Nerds comes in, audits your expenses across 30 plus categories, and finds immediate savings. And here's the kicker: they only get paid if they save you money. It's a complete no-brainer. If you want to keep more of what you make, go check them out at 10xnerds.com. This episode is brought to you by Rakowski Law Firm. If you're a business owner or have built a level of wealth, but you don't have your estate plan dialed in, you're exposed. Rakowski Law Firm helps families and business owners protect their assets, avoid probate, and make sure everything transfers exactly how it should. This isn't just paperwork, it's a real strategy to protect your legacy. If you haven't looked at your plan in a while or don't have one, go to rakowskilawfirm.com. Couple questions. What's going really well with your business right now? And then what are some challenges you guys are facing?
Yeah, what's going really well is actually we're growing really fast. We implemented some new processes that are putting us on a trajectory for the 30 to 33 million range. The profits are good, the pricing is good. What's challenging right now is getting high level talent. Like, I'm looking for absolute A players from across the country to bring in and participate in this explosive growth that we're having, and just getting in the really good technicians, the really good plumbers, really good sales guys. And because we're growing, so my marketing team has done such a phenomenal job that we have more leads than we can handle right now. So that's a big challenge.
Hmm. Okay, so that's interesting. You're recruiting from other states. You're not just recruiting in Tucson. You're like, man, if you're an
Yeah,
amazing HVAC guy in Houston, what
absolutely.
are you doing? Are you reaching out to him with like a competitive offer? How are you finding those guys?
Yeah, so some of the people that I've actually interviewed on the Sales Wars podcast have a wide net. I've actually been on the Waste No Day podcast with Brian Burton. I'm trying to network with people that know people across state lines that are top tier talent. I was just talking with a guy I know in Tennessee that is a top guy. I'm trying to get him out here to join the team. We've got we've got people that have come out from Colorado, from Mississippi, and these guys are like $5-6 million guys, and you need that A player talent in order to grow like we're growing. The leads only do so much. You got to have the talent.
So I know a big thing for a lot of guys is figuring out a way for their guys to have commission, bonuses, skin in the game. Do you have any
Yep.
unique ways you set up compensation or structures to keep those guys around and keep them hungry?
Yeah, yeah. So I
You
don't
don't
know
have to
what
give
other
us
companies are paying.
any secret sauce. You could just whatever you're comfortable sharing. You know.
Well, let's just talk about the AC side in general. Like, I like to pay for performance. I like to pay in a way that accomplishes the company's goals while helping the salesperson to excel at the highest level. And so, what we've done is we've structured it based on what system that they're selling. They get a higher and higher commission tier based on what system they sell and what accessories are in it. So if they sell one accessory that is under 2,500, we'll add 1% to the commission of the whole job. An accessory over 2,500, we'll add 2%. And that goes for any accessories and extends their ability. So our top percentage on AC systems is up to 17%. I don't know
Wow.
anyone that's doing that, but you got to do
Wow.
key things, right? So that's going to be a at least a mid-tier system with accessories without excessive discounting, and then we're paying up to 17% on that for a project manager who can go out there, compete with other companies, and beat them at our pricing. Right, those
Hmm.
two chucks in a truck, or the PE groups that are dropping their pants trying to break their way into the market. We got a new one. We 2 years ago we dealt with this with a PE group coming in. Now we got another one trying to break into the market and just like tons of marketing, dropping their pants on pricing. And it's like, okay, how do we go in and beat them with our skill, not with a low price? And if you can do that, we pay top tier.
I love that. Yeah, and it's funny because I'm in the heart of Denver and Cherry Creek, where I can throw a rock and literally hit a PE firm, and
Yeah,
it's insane how hot home services are with these guys.
for sure.
Roofing, dude, fire safety for whatever reason is like a hot
Mm.
area right now. Um, what are so you're a guy that's full of energy. Obviously, you care about sales. What are some other things that get you fired up? Regarding business. What are some principles or things that you try to integrate into your everyday how you run your shop?
Yeah. So we like at our core, I'm a man of faith. I'm a Christian, and that is the foundation of who we are as people and as a company. And for us, we teach our people to go and serve at the highest level. Actually love your customer. Not like pretend to
Hmm.
love your customer. Actually love your customer like it's your mother or your grandmother, and go in and serve them. If you wouldn't offer this product to your mom or your grandma or whoever you love most in the world, you shouldn't be doing it. And so when you go and serve and love and care, and you put in the sweat equity, you do all of the stuff. You're not lazy. You're not cutting corners. You're asking them, "Hey, can I get you a cup of coffee on the way out there?" And they see this. You may not get every single sale, but overall you're gonna increase your sales numbers through caring, because people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And so we go in with love and care and gratitude and energy, and when we do that, the community recognizes it. We have tons and tons of 5-star reviews because we're going above and beyond. I was just teaching a class this morning with the techs, and it's the difference between ordinary and extraordinary is that little extra effort. That 5 minutes of extra gets you the deal. And a lot of people just get blasé. Here's another call. They go through the motions. And dude, if you just get that little extra, that's going to make the difference. And if you care and are grateful, don't go in with a bad attitude.
I love that. What I know a lot of sales guys kind of specialize in overcoming objections. Is that something you teach? And what are some of your favorite ways to overcome objections?
Yeah. So, I mean, absolutely. I mean, you have to, if you want to role play, give me one and we can do that. But I'll give you some foundational rules. First thing you do when you get an objection is 100% of the time agree. first. Yeah, yeah, no problem. I get you. Lower the defenses, lower the walls, and then I just keep pushing forward. I just ask more questions. We like to say that selling is not telling, it's asking the right questions. It's
Hmm.
identifying wants, needs, desires, and pain, asking the right question to elicit from a couple of words a multi-paragraph answer and have them talking. And if you allow them to talk about themselves, you allow them to talk about the problem, and then you encourage them by asking why or tell me more, they will tell you through the process on how to help them, because we're not selling them stuff they don't need or want. We're
Yeah.
identifying the things that are important to them, asking them how important they are on a scale of 1 to 10. How important is that? And if it's a higher number, then we know that they would like to fix that as long as it's affordable, and then go through the process. Now, there are still objections that you'll get even after properly establishing the need, gauging the importance. I always do on a scale of 1 to 10, and then tell me why you think that would help you. I want them speaking that, because when they speak it, it becomes real in their mind. It marks a dendrite in their mind where the neurons go back and forth, and people will have a cognitive dissonance after they speak it and then say no. So I always try to get them to say why they want it and make sure, and I always do it very very gentle. Like I'm talking right now, very aggressive. I don't talk like that with a homeowner. I'm leaning back, I put my arm out, I'm smiling, I'm relaxed. I'm like, "Hey, just so that we're on the right page. I don't ever want to even offer you something or put something to paper that you're not interested in. Tell me why do you care about that, or why do you want that item?" And then
Yeah.
hopefully what they do is reiterate what I did by when I established the need. They tell me what I told them just in reverse, and that locks it in their mind. And then when you get to the end, you don't have the objection most of the time.
I love that. I actually wanted to go back to something you said earlier. What is your marketing team doing? Obviously, getting to 33 million, that's pretty impressive to scale
Yeah.
to that size. You know, besides pay per click and traditional methods, are you guys doing re-engagement campaigns? Are there any other unique referral stuff you're doing? What are you doing outside of the traditional just trying to get strangers online to become clients?
Yeah, yeah. So we've had a pretty long-lasting branding campaign on radio and TV. We used a company that does it much like the Wizard of Ads does, with storytelling and bringing in our brand and who we are. So my wife and I, we do Amy and Andrew here, and we have created a brand around ourself and our family, which creates an emotional pull point with customers. So we have great customers. When we advertise on the news, we typically get the older customers, and that happen to be more affluent. Radio hits everybody, and that branding over time has been really really good. I started with one radio station about 5 years ago, just flooded that station with 5 ads a day. And then when we got the results, then it was like, okay, add another. And we just kept going. And then later added TV, and then what we did is we tied in the vehicles in the TV commercial with the wrap, so because people recognize it, we tied in our faces, because all they heard on the radio was Andrew and Amy here for 5 years. So now we tied in our faces, the brand of the logo, our family. We brought in a U of A player because we're in Tucson, so University of Arizona, and that just really drove home our brand. And then of course we do the pay per click stuff and the Facebook and other than TV, radio ads. We're just getting going on some of the stuff that you mentioned, like referral campaigns. We've completely failed. We don't have any mailers going out. We don't have very good retargeting campaigns. We do have email blasts and texts, but that's even without those things, we're blowing up right now.
Remind me to double click on that with you after the show. I have the best re-engagement campaign person, so we'll talk more about that.
Awesome.
What's the biggest challenge you're facing right now, Andrew, and how are you guys approaching it?
So, are you familiar with the term call by call management, or call to close?
Educate me a bit.
Okay, so a lot of times we have had challenges, even with lots and lots of training, getting technicians, plumbers, electricians to do the process the way we want it done. And that has led to lower sales. Now what we've done is we've attached one supervisor to 3 to 4 technicians for active engagement in the process, even up until helping the homeowner understand what it is, and closing the deal. And what that has done is immediately once we started this process, we doubled every department, right? And so it's been huge. One of the failure points or difficulties I've had is when I introduced that process, tech sales guys that were used to getting the tech flip were no longer getting the flip, and they only had the marketed leads. So with the shifting of how we were doing things, we lost some people. And
Mm-hmm.
then we were like, hey, why don't we get the technicians to just sell the AC with the supervisor? And we've had some challenges with that. So now I'm going back to reintroducing the salespeople, bringing guys that are top tier, teaching them my system. And because we had this vacancy where we were losing some deals that shouldn't have got lost. And so that's been a big challenge, is just learning through big changes. Yes, we doubled our revenue, but then I'm like, man, we should not be losing this many system sales. And so now we're re-engaging back, just kind of manipulating it to try and get the best total process, learning from other companies, and then figuring out what works for us.
That's so good. I love that. Definitely a different way to structure things to have it be more effective. How are you
Yeah.
guys integrating AI into your business right now?
Oh man, so much success and failure in that world as well. So we jumped on that bandwagon hard and fast in the very beginning, and man, we went through some iterations of failure, and we're still learning it. So we went and used a texting system for speed to lead. We've used AI phone answering and trying to get that right. We've hired and fired different companies trying to figure all of that out, and so of course the customer service and then speed to lead. Now what we're doing is we have live people unless it goes past 3 rings or it's after hours, then they hit AI, and we're still working through the bugs on that. The best thing we're doing in AI is my marketing guy has just dug in head first on this stuff, and he has had agents writing systems and processes. He created a full figure out what he calls it. It's like a master control system when leads come in for organization. Like the system he built could be sold to other companies for massive amounts. It's so good, and that's what's helped out in our marketing end. So on the customer service end, we've had a bunch of failures. On the marketing end and the agents that have created stuff, like we had his agents rewrite our entire website 700 pages, and it just did it behind the scenes. And dude, we have some of the searches that you throw in ChatGPT, it'll come up with an answer, and then you say, okay, what's the reference? And it references our website. It's crazy.
That's awesome. Man,
Yeah.
that's a cool way to integrate AI into your business. Is there anything we haven't talked about today that gets you fired up? You're a pretty passionate guy. Is there anything we haven't discussed?
Man, just related to just business in general.
Anything. It could be totally unrelated. It could be a favorite hobby. It could be a hot take about sports that no one shares. It could be anything, man.
All right. So a lot of you business owners are out there, and we play this game and we gauge our success based on the profits of the year. And that's how we have to gauge our success in the business. If
Right.
you are all about money and you seek after that, and that's you're going after that 100%, be careful not to let other things falter in your life. Well, we call this the 4 F's as we teach our technicians and our people what's important in life: family, faith, fitness, and finances. And if you go all in on one and fail on the others, your life is a wreck, and you're a failure,
Yep.
right? If you let your family go, and that's a mess. If you're not prioritizing your faith, your fitness, your health goes. Who cares how much money you have? Nobody on their bed says, "Bring me all my money." You say, "Bring me all of my friends, all of the people I
Yep.
love." And so,
Yep.
as you seek for success, as you should, don't let those other things falter. And one last thing: when you
Mm.
have success at the end of the rainbow, when you have all the money and you're making everything you could ever hope or dream for, you will find that that still can lead to emptiness if you're not giving back. You If
Mm.
you don't find fulfillment in finding that person that needed a water heater or an AC, and you give them one, or donating to some nonprofit you care about, or helping people out, your life, although you'll have all the stuff, your state can only be so thick, your house can only be so big, your car can only be so fancy, and you will find emptiness at the end of that rainbow without giving back of your time, your wisdom, and your money, and you will find
Mm.
real fulfillment in giving, not in making. And so that is going to be critical. If you're a business owner and you're just stressed out and feel this emptiness even though you're making all this money, it's because you're not giving.
Yeah. That's a great word, man. I love that. I love all the posture and all the vision of your business. If Andrew, if people want to learn more about who you are and what you do, where can they go?
Yeah. Yeah, so Sales Wars with Andrew Dobbins. It's on YouTube for the full episodes. Instagram, we're getting a lot of people looking and following on Instagram and Facebook. And then my company is Intelligent Design. If you just wanted to see the website, it's iDesignAC.com. And then you can find me as Andrew Dobbins on social media as well. Hit me up. I'm happy to answer questions. I don't have any services that I'm selling. I'm just, I've had a lot of people after I've been on other podcasts hit me up and just say, hey, what about this? What about that? And anything I can help with, I'm here for the community. I'd like to help you out.
I love that. That's amazing. And who is the ideal listener for the Sales Wars? Is it guys in the blue collar space, or would it be relevant to anybody who's just in W-2 corporate America?
Yeah, anybody that's in sales or a business leader, you have to, in order to have success in any business, you have to be able to sell. And a lot of people confuse sales with manipulation or negative terms. If you're married and you married a pretty lady, you definitely sold her on why you should be the guy. Sales is merely the communication of your passion and influence, and getting someone else to come alongside and believe what you believe. If you saw a good movie and you were excited about it and you told someone else, you sold them on going to see that movie, even though you didn't benefit from it financially. And so as a business owner, you need to communicate to your people, right? You have internal customers and external customers. Your people need to get on board with your vision. You need to communicate to your external customers to get on board with why your product instead of someone else's. And so sales is critical to all of that. And the people that we're having on are not just in the trades. They're in all type of different spaces. I mean, the guys from the Elliott Group, they teach people in all spaces about sales, even though originally they were just doing cars, right? They had their whole car sales program, and now they do all kinds of things.
I love that, man. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, Andrew. Don't go anywhere because I want to keep talking, but thanks for coming on the show.
Absolutely. Pleasure. Thanks for having me.